Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Going Craig here. Yep, on the bond knock, and I should say, good afternoon or good evening, because I'm done working for today. And as the title of my thumbnail suggests, continued trial and error of welding. I think I mentioned I bought my new welding unit from Lazada. And if you didn't see it before, there it is. I haven't welded before, but what I did is I took two pieces of metal and I just practiced until I could get a good bead on it. I figured, well, I know how to do that. And also figured out a few things, like when this thing gets turned on, actually it's unplugged. I didn't really think of that before, but I probably would have thought about it. Where is that? Come on, man. Where is that off? Great. That is the thing, right? There you go. So, with the numbers, if you got a thick line coming from the house, extension cord is thick like these ones. This is not the extension, but anyway. The higher the number, the more juice. It goes up to 700 on this unit. And if you go too high, that arc will just cut right through your cheap ass metal. So I figured out that pretty quick. Turn it down to where I can get it to bead instead of cut through the metal. But man, what a nightmare. And so the idea was I wanted to, put all these crossbars in here so that I could get the ceiling up. And it was pretty wicked. I did this. This was my first one. And you can see every time that the welding rod would touch the metal, like, until I could get it going. Even this one, I ripped a hole right through that one because I changed the heat. I wound up having to flip the whole thing over and weld it on that side. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the trial and error. But these are all good. I welded these pretty good. I just spot cornered these. And yeah, it was brutal. I accidentally touched the ceiling somewhere around here. You touch this ceiling and it'll rip a hole right through it. But anyway, so I put that grid on there, those two bars, the 4-inch whatever, and then these 2-inch to make a grid to hold up the cement board for sealing. And actually this cement or this ceiling is two of those boards side by side, either way you turn it, because it's 8x8 really. And of course, in my infinite wisdom, I tried to get one in here, and I figured I could, rig it, use a pole or something to lift it up. And yeah, that's what happened. That's the whole trial and error thing. That's actually more than one piece. I got one piece there, and that's okay. Well, I know what I'll do. I'll cut it in half lengthwise, and I'll just do like 4 pieces horizontal. And yeah, I couldn't even do that. It broke. So I built this, welded it, made this so that I can slip the board on top of there, and it can hold one side while I'm on the other side, tacking into the poles here, to the grid. Although, after breaking what really is two whole pieces of this board, I don't care. This is like 150 baht each, or 139 baht each, something like that. About 6 pieces for these 2 rooms, the bathroom and the kitchen. But I knew that each room only took 2 pieces. So I'm lucky. I just wasted the 2 pieces while I was trial and error. You know, what they say, learning by fire or something like that. But anyway, it's all right. It was fun. Although I also learned that, yeah, when I first had it, I had these glasses, you know, these old ones, which are pretty good. But yeah, you're gonna have to wear some more than that. I started out actually on this flat bar down here when I was practicing with just with these goggles and, you know, my gloves and regular gloves, and my shorts and stuff, and then molten metal splatter. Yeah, learned that pretty quick, and splattered, fell on my glove, melted right through it, burned my hand. So I went and got my long cement pants on, my boots, and I wore my pants outside the boot because I didn't want the molten stuff going down in my boot. And then, you know, I wore my bush cutter, full face, full face hoodie, whatever. But then I also went over to Global and picked me up some actual welding gloves and a welding helmet. This is like 800 baht or something. But I tell you, man, this is night and day, because the goggles or the glasses were good, but they didn't block out any of the, you know, the peripheral light, which kind of made it difficult. But the helmet blocks it all out, and I can really see, you know, what I'm doing. But I still haven't really quite felt good about dialing in what the number should be. If I'm right here, I got the extension cord actually to that house, to the small knockdown house. I got an extension cord there. It's a fat extension cord straight to the welding machine, and then, you know, grounding it. You have to ground it to whatever you're going to weld, and that works. Before I had it, I don't know if I showed you this, but I was grinding, you know, on my bathroom, cutting cement or something, and then like this, and pap, it was like a, you know, I thought I tripped a breaker, but then I didn't know what it was. I took apart the plug, and I was testing it with my, you know, my light tester, and it was getting power. My normal line that I string all the way from over there to back here was getting power. But what it was the line was like number 2 or 3 or something like that in terms of the thickness in it. And when I had 2 or 3 different things going, we had the pump going, the water pump for the house also, my fan, grinder, and all this other stuff. So it just heated up. It didn't melt inside the line, which was new to me. I mean, normally I've done it before, and it just melts the line and pow. So I got a bigger line. That was my bigger line. And then it melted. It didn't melt. It just, so I was like, what? So I wound up having to call the electrical guy and say, bro, come over here. It was like 5 o'clock almost already, at the end of my day. So he came over and he goes, yeah, you can still get, you know, electricity loss. They heat up enough to where the heat between them feels each other, whatever, and that's when you get it. So the line is okay, but it was just too much electricity, so you got a different line. So fortunately, we had this line that was left over from when they redid that house. It was like a number, I think that's number 4 and 5 or something like that, or they're both, yeah, no, I'm sorry, they're both 2.5. So in terms of the size. So I strung out new wire all the way over here, and then it wasn't a problem. I was able to get her done. One of the things I think I forgot to show you was I finished this in here. I showed it before, but I had my wedges and stuff in there, but I've taken all that out now, and yeah, finished that. But, and then last night when I was thinking, remember I told you, I think in my previous video, where I made that mistake because of the shower thing or whatever, and I cut that out. It looks like it's raised here, but it's not. That's just a shadow. But that's not. See, you know what? I should have left that in there because I could have used that. Even though the shower would be to the side or something, I could have used that as a waterfall shower, shower, part of like a actual waterfall drench shower. So, because I thought of making a cement, this little cement thing where you'd have all this water come out over it, but I don't know. Anyway, it was a full day of nothing but trial and error, error. But well, I learned. I suppose I did learn a lot. So good enough. But I don't know. I don't even know if my little ceiling rig there is going to be enough, man. I tried to do everything myself, but I might have to call in reinforcement on this one. I need hands, man. And then the main room ceiling, how am I going to do that? Damn, man. I need to find the ceiling guys, I guess. All right, man.